Yo guys, what's good? In today's video we'll be bringing you a full Darius build guide. This will cover everything from ruins to items to when you should get certain items. This will basically give you the full rundown of what you need to know to play Darius in the new season, so you're all caught up and up to date. So yeah guys, enjoy. Alrighty, let's start out with the most basic. The summoners, you always go Flash Ghost. Now then, as for runes, it's extremely simple. These I always, the main keystones is Conqueror. There's no better keystone than this on Darius. Basically gives you AD. It stacks with your passive, so when you get AD from your passive, you're also getting AD for Conqueror, which makes you even stronger. It gives you a little bit of healing, which helps out a lot when you pair it up with your Q. With our build, we go Spirit Visage, that helps with extra healing and all that good stuff. Triumph will be reset and a lot of kills. We'll be getting some HP back during those resets. Legends of Alacrity, this is the only one you can get on Darius, and plus as a bonus it feels good. Attack speed, you don't need it on Darius, but it does feel nice when you have it. For these two, you can either take Last Stance or Coup de Grace. It's purely not situational, it's purely a personal preference. I like to take Coup de Grace. And as for the secondary runes, we always take Celerity, and then you have an option. It's kind of situational, but it's also personal preference. In my opinion, Axiom Arcanus is the one you should take. It's the best in my personal opinion. It feels very good. It gives you a lot more ult damage. You do feel the damage. Late game it's about 200 to 300 more damage per reset. You can see how it stacks up when you get multiple resets. The second option you got is Nimbus Cloak. It's good when you know you're not getting any resets from this. For example, like if you're playing versus a Vayne, it's very hard to get a reset off on her. Or versus a Kayle. Situations where the movement speed will benefit you more than the actual damage. But in most cases, this is what I would take. And this is what I take. A little bit of movement speed helps you out a little bit in the early game. Some tenacity, of course, as Darius. And attack speed for the early game. Now then, as you all know, Dunk Master Darius is the best skin. You always should take it. It's purely pay to win. Yes, sir. Alrighty, let's get in game. Now then, as for the items. Alrighty, as for the build. So, the first row is basically tier 1 items for Darius. These first 3 items you can never go wrong with. Deadman's is hard nerfed, it's not as good as it used to, but when you need movement speed, Deadman's is the safest bet to go, and most games you do need the movement speed, that's why I always build it. Although it's nerfed to the ground that it doesn't really give you that much movement speed. Most of the time it will give you that little bit of edge, so when you have Ghost you actually catch people. Trinity and Sterak's, these are must-haves in my opinion for Darius. Trinity is the best first item you can get on Darius. I know a lot of players like to take Stridebreaker. My opinion, Stridebreaker is very situational and you're giving up some damage from your Trinity and attack speed, which feels a lot nicer on Darius because you get a Sheen proc with Trinity and Sheen procs with your W, and when you're comboing fast, for example, you have a... So let's say you have passive on this guy and there's an ADC, which is most team fights, you do this, you flash W and ult, right? That will give you a lot of damage with your Trinity proc. And that's why I prefer Trinity over Stridebreaker. It doesn't just give you the movement speed that you need, it gives you the damage that you need. It's all about positioning, that's the key with Darius. So in my opinion, if you play it smart with Darius, you don't need Stridebreaker. Trinity will do just fine. I got plenty of high elo just with buying Trinity. I never bought Stridebreaker. And yeah guys, this is the safest bet, just go Trinity. Sterak's is a no-brainer, it's the best item on Darius, it scales with your base AD. Darius has a lot of base AD, it gives you shield when you're low. You're gonna be low a lot cause you heal most when you're low on Darius. This helps you not get bursted. So Sterak's is a no-brainer. And it gives you tenacity now. Flat tenacity, that is. It's flat rate, not when you have the shield only. Before it was when the shield pops only you get tenacity. Now it's basically like mercs, having a built-in mercs. Mercs give you 30%, this gives you 20 flat out. For 3.2k, it gives you quite a bit of stats, not gonna lie. So yeah, you're seeing 38, it gives us 38 AD. When I increase my level from 6 to 18, it gives us 67 AD. For a tank item, that's solid, that's very solid. Not to mention the shield that it gives us and the health. Now, Spirit Visage, it's S tier item, however, it is situational, kinda. Some games, if you need magic resist, it's gonna be better to go Force of Nature. Some games, not all. Most games, it's better to go Spirit Visage. And finally on the list is Thunder Sky. Thunder Sky is amazing on Darius. However, in my opinion, it's only good when you pair it with Spirit Visage, because you have bonus healing, and when you pair both of these with Sterak's, which Spirit Visage gives you 25% increase on shields as well. You can see how this build ties in together very good. These items tie in together very good. So I would only recommend Thunder Sky if you're planning to go Spirit Visage, which most games you will. Okay, as for first item, we already talked about this. Boots. These are the best boots in order. Most of the games you're gonna go mercs. It doesn't matter if Tabis is great. If you cannot move, it doesn't matter. Most games you need to move. If there's too much CC, like here, there's a Nautilus and a Nocturne Fear. That is plenty enough to just go straight for mercs. Yes, Sterox gives you some tenacity, but mercs will give you a lot. So yeah, I would recommend most games going mercs. The other games where mercs is not needed, I would actually recommend Boots of Swiftness. You only go tabbies really if it's plenty needed. Like for example, a set in the top lane, like here, a master in the jungle, and a hardcore auto attack ADC like Vayne, for example. But it has to be like very like this. It cannot be just for one or two champions you get tabbies. Like for example, they want master your top lane, for example. It's not enough. It's not good value for money. And lastly, this is a for fun item, but it kinda works. So Zerg Greaves on Darius is not good. However, the attack speed does feel nice. However, if you go tier 3 Zerg Greaves, the bonus you get is 15% movement speed on hit for 2 seconds decaying. So that's huge. If you auto attack someone, it helps you to stick on them. I would not recommend this if you're tryharding, but if you're for funning it or you see you have a huge lead and it doesn't really matter, these are very fun boots to get. Only if you have tier 3 boots though, never get them before then. Now, as for damage items, this is the list I would recommend. It's in order. Sterak's, of course, it's a no-brainer. Thunder Sky is very nice. Shojin right now is the best, however, other than Sterak's. However, it is kind of meta item. It's very good on Darius. I do see them nerfing it in the near future, that's why I'm not hardcore recommending it. These items are much safer picks in the long term because they're always they've been viable for a very long time. Shojin's kinda just spiked in the meta. It is very good, however, Shojin, so I do recommend it. Titanic Hydra, oh my god, this item, it feels amazing. I love when they brought it back to having the actual active ability. So with Titanic Hydra you can get max stacks, auto W, Hydra, Q, auto ult. That's basically max stacks in a couple of seconds. A legit couple of seconds. If you learn how to use it, it's really not that hard. This is with no attack speed, by the way. If we get some more attack speed, it's crazy. The fact that you can get your stacks that fast on the Darius, that's deadly. So Hydra is very nice. If you learn how to use it, it's very good. Distance helps you live a little bit longer. Distance is in a bit of a weird spot because it doesn't give you any health at all, which Darius kinda needs health. But he also needs damage. With distance, gives you a lot, plenty of a lot. But it's kinda weird because there's so many items to buy nowadays on Darius. You only have 6 slots to buy items. And there are, in my opinion, there are better items. But distance is very much a viable pick. It's good and very situational. It's good in general, but in certain situations, it's the best. Where they have a ton of burst. Like an Oriana ult with something else that bursts you, you know? Stuff that you need a little bit of survivability to get your stacks to start resetting, you know? Overlord, this is a pretty decent item. Again, there are a lot of items to buy this season, so I think other items are better than this. However, this is still very good. The lower you are, the more AD you get. Late game, this pops off hard. The amount of AD you get. Let's test it real quick. I'm pretty sure it gives you like 100 plus AD. So we need to get low first. So this is us with full HP. With Overlord and passive, of course. Concurrent stuff, we have 637 AD. And this is when we start to get low. You can see the AD going up. Still going up, 700 AD. This gives you this insane amount of AD, 85 AD it gives us when it's late game, because it scales with bonus health. So it's a scaling item. I would not recommend it third, fourth, or even fifth item for that matter. I would mostly recommend it to get it last item if you want to get this item. Shojin, of course, and Black Cleaver. People sleep on Black Cleaver on Darius. It's extremely good. Not as a... I mean, a first item it can be decent, but it's purely situation. It's Cleaver, you know, it shreds the armor. For movement speed, this is the basic rundown. Deadman's Force of Nature. Deadman's is better than Force of Nature, but of course it depends what the resistance stats you get. Most of the time it's better to get Deadman's than just get the Spirit Visage. That's what I do most games. And Hexblade. Hexblade, no one buys this item. It's hidden tech on there. It's legit hidden tech. They buffed this item 2 patches ago. It gives you 20% movement speed for 8 seconds after you ult. You keep on ulting on there, you get recess, that's how you play him in team fights. For 8 seconds you get 20% movement speed. That's basically a ghost. That's basically a ghost. It gives you 1/3 more power in your ghost. The amazing thing about Hexblade is it doesn't matter if you auto attack something after you ult. You still get the movement speed. Let's say I do this. I get the movement speed. Okay, I don't even have Hexblade though. Oh, that's better. We actually got Hexblade. See, I do this. I get my Hexblade movement speed. W. Combo this guy and I still have my Hexblade. I go here and I still have my Hexblade. It keeps on going. I'm telling you, man, this thing lasts forever. You feel it in team fights. You can run people down hard. And it will still keep going even after you attack people. The downside is it gives you attack speed 50%. That's way more than Darius actually uses. But you get the movement speed, which is an insane amount, and I love this item. I mostly recommend this when you have Cloud Soul, because Cloud Soul gives you movement speed when you ult as well. So if you pair this with a Cloud Soul, oh my god, you'll be zooming. I'm telling you, man, this is the funnest item ever on Darius when you have Cloud Soul. So yeah, keep that in mind. One trap that people fall for is Jack Show. It sounds nice, it gives you a lot of armor, magic resistance, you don't know which stat to buy, you just buy one item. It's not good value, it's rarely good value. I mostly never recommend this item. Maybe versus a full AD and you want to round off the build with this. They have very little amount of magic resistance, but other than that I would not recommend this item. Tanky items. And situational, of course. Spirit Visage is tier 1. If you need magic resist, get this. It's a no-brainer. These guys, of course, it's just healing reduction. It's 40% each. It doesn't matter which one you get. It's mostly if you need more damage, which on Darius I would recommend not getting more than 2 tanky items. That's Spirit and Deadman's most of the time. So most of the time I would get Chainsword. But yeah, it's up to you guys. Random Zonement reduces the critical damage. I would rarely use this for the slow. It's more for the passive. 30% less critical damage is usually huge versus people that crit you hard. So yeah, there's that. Unending Despair is a very fun unkillable Darius build. Let me just show you a quick demo what you can buy with this item. Like, if you go this setup, you're not gonna die ever on Darius, I promise you. You get healing from this, Spirit Visage boosts everything. You still have a lot of damage. We have 555, 51 AD. That's plenty enough. And you're unkillable. Unending Despair is a very fun item, but like I said, it's a for fun item. It's not bad, it's just better items exist. Hull Breaker, I rarely use this, but sometimes it's good when you want to split push, when you're not doing much in team fights and you just want to pressure the map. This is pretty good. Now, as for build examples, this is the best build I would recommend. You're gonna swap this out to get Sterak's first before it's under Sky, but yeah, still works. This build, the Titanic Hydra build, it's amazing. Like I said, you get your passive like that. This is the build I told you about with Hexplate when you get a Cloud Soul in a game, or you see you could potentially get a Cloud Soul. If you're not too sure if you're gonna get the Cloud Soul or not, just get this item later and just buy these items first. I love the boots slot open because it's purely situational which boots you get. And this is another build you can go. It's purely damage oriented and you just get more damage for your ult. You can swap one of these items for a Shojin. Darius ult does damage based on how much AD you have, so the more AD you funnel into it, the better it is. As for items, that's pretty much it. For potions, it's mostly Elixir of Iron. If you don't need the extra tenacity because you already have Sterak's, you can get Elixir of Red. And that's pretty much it, guys, as for the items. So yeah, guys, to round off the build, Darius is pretty good this season. He's not in a bad spot at all. As you can see, he has a healthy win rate and a decent ranks. A very healthy pick rate and a very healthy, too healthy ban rate. He's S plus tier, he's been like this for a couple of seasons. He's a very solid champion to pick up, to learn, to main, to climb with. He's very good. Don't listen to the people that tell you cannot play Darius in high elo. That's very much not true. As you can see, he's pretty good. And yeah, guys, as for lanes on Darius, of course he's a top laner, but you can pull off mid lane pretty easily. Most matchups you can deal with. If you're versus a LeBlanc, for example, it's gonna be hard, but some matchups you can deal with pretty easily, especially if you take ghosts like normal Darius players and you know how to play mid lane, of course. Darius jungle did get kinda nerfed. His sustain is still good, he can still jungle, but his clear is kinda slow. I wouldn't recommend Darius jungle and ranked. You can pull it off, I sometimes play it, but it's just not the best. And yeah, guys, overall I think Darius is very good, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.